All right. This is going to be a difficult video. I've been playing around with the code of Carli. So Carli has a Carli Calamares configuration and it was not working. I was making the video and everything was fine and it was not working. So I had to take some time and think about all these things. So basically everything is solved already and I have to rethink what did we do, what steps did I take and what went wrong and all that. So the Calamares configuration has been revisited and the easiest way I hope is gonna be opening it with Git ahead. So the steps that we took are in a in the timeline of your Git. So this is from today and we compared elements. We added the net install browsers in here. That's covered in last video, I think. I need to check it again. And we've set this system. We did not change the system, no. So some text, some elements in here. But that's not... Okay, here it is. That's what I'm looking for. I was looking for, rather than a 1 second timeline of time interval, it's now 5 seconds. That's something we done, and this is new. This is not in the video, the last video that I've created. We saw that we needed something more in etc Calamares modules. We forgot something. We forgot to add the two things. The package configuration, that's one thing, but the other thing was also put packages in here. If we don't put if we don't put the module packages in here, it will never be loaded because it's Calamares is big, right? It provides us with a huge possibility for a wide variety of Linux distributions, also Red Hat and all the others, right? So these modules are not interesting for all of us. And in this case, maybe it's double, I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter because it's important. We forgot to put in, we said net install is working just fine, so the net install module is working. But since ArcoLinux is of course a story of 3 years and Carli is just very minimal, yet still very minimal, we did not read this thing, and it really says it here. Calamares will then use the packages module to install the packages. If you want to use the net install, which was our idea of browsers, and you can have Office and Terminal and all that, just like we have in ArcoLinux. If you want to have the module, it says you need to have somewhere calling the packages module, and we did not. So without the packages module in the exec phase, somewhere after this net install, nothing will actually get installed. The packages module must be correctly configured and all that. It's correctly configured, but it needs to be in here. So the things we've changed, where are you? The thing we've changed is that we added packages.conf and we told him that pacman is the backend, because first there was dummy, and dummy, well, only logs. Okay, so now we have to tell him we're on a Debian based system or Gentoo based system and so on. So we tell him pacman is our backend. Okay, and then I had to look at ArcoLinux again because I know I mean you test a lot and you know that in our setup this needs to be false through false. So okay, that's set and done. And then, well, since I was making a file anyway, I could also try to remove stuff. So on, that's included in the other video, I think. Yes, that's included in the other video. Check. I just saw that. And in here we are saying everything that's coming from Calamares that we need to build Calamares to make Calamares work and tick, right, is going to be removed if possible. Try. Now a lot of these things are KKKK, a lot of these things are from Plasma, so they will never be removed. But what certainly is going to be removed is Calamares itself and the Calamares configuration. Now the packages was put at the top before the network was ready. So, okay, we're going to put packages in a lower place. And I'm not sure, services systemd was not there yet. So somewhere we have to see services D. Somewhere I must have put it as extra. I think so. That's up to date. Or was that already included? That's the problem always. Thinking back again, what did we do? Problems. So Carli, the settings configuration are at this point like this, and this works. So the net install browsers is going to be defined up here, gonna be asked there, and then I do believe I wrote this one extra, but yeah, okay, I remember again. So it was already there, so I just said, okay, it's already there, it's cool, right? So I was looking in that area, and then the packages are behind this guy, and so behind the network configuration, so everything can be resolved. The clock services systemd, we've done something in the services systemd. Let's have a look. Or not. So packages configuration is pacman. I believe I changed something there. Unpack is that, unpack is that. No, nothing is changed. Oh yeah, because I was thinking of adding an element to make sure it's interesting for you to know. Certainly interesting for you to know that in the trash, not in the trash, in the download, in the Calamares, in the sources, in the modules, there is a system D, which I threw away again afterwards, which can enable a service, and we could say this guy, pacman init, mandatory false. So we'll try to enable the service, this time called name, pacman init, and mandatory true. So that was not my solution, so I got rid of that again. Okay. Getting there, but because the idea was that I should be able to install Firefox, Google Chrome, and Falcon, right? We need to get those elements on our future system, and it said our Calamares installer said, look, pacman init is not has not been installed, did not run, and then, well, Firefox and Google Chrome, no, Chromium and Falcon did not install. So I had to look. So the solution was that in Carli, this guy, I've made sure that packages is first of all behind network configuration, behind service systemd as well, but certainly after this guy, that's the most important, paramount, I think. But not yet the solution. The solution, that's part of the solution, all pieces must work together, inside Carli 6, I've changed something too. So in here, I have added in the customize Arch ISO root file system, I said to the system, go and get me the pacman keys, initialize them and populate them with Arch Linux elements, keys, right? And we're not going to install Firefox because we want to install it in Calamares. We want to click there. And yay bin is going to be installed. So that's the last thing we've changed. Okay, uncommitted changes. So I need to push it to the internet. So I can build it now on this machine, but no, you can't yet. So a push away and you've got it as well. Oh my God, yeah. So we need to clean up this and that. Well, actually, this is the one that's working. But we probably can make another build. So let's clean everything up. What's in there? Clean up version 1 shows that get rid of out, get rid of work. Okay, it takes a while or not. Now it's gone. And now I can push it to the net. Yeah, that's a clean one. Oh, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right. Whew, getting tired. So, how should we call this? Pacman init, right? Well, panic init install packages. That's what we wanted to do. Be able to install packages. All right. I hope I retraced my steps thoroughly. So it's always a bother if you do it later on and then you have to figure it out again. What did we do? What did we change? We tried lots of things. So I know that, not that. But this is what I think kicked everything into gear. We are going to initialize the pacman key on our USB ISO and populate it again, so I can immediately do sudo pacman -s Firefox, right? That's the point. And then on the ISO, Calamares says, okay, look, I can actually install something, because that was the error that we got in our system. All right. I hope it makes sense. Otherwise, just start from the code that we have, because it works. Let's see if it does. Sudo build sh. Our Calamares has been built. You probably missed that also in our system. So Carli Calamares push things and changes to the GitHub, that's one thing. But getting it on our ISO, that's the next thing. Carli package build, Carli Calamares configuration. Probably not much to see here, but changes of numbers that we change. That's the build info. I guess I need to push that as well, so we can follow along. I hope it's the Carli Calamares, the last thing I've done. I don't know. So no, it's probably gonna be yay bin. That's the last thing I've done. Of not done yet, not yet pushed. So that's online. And the Carli repo. So the last version of Carli Calamares. So I made 3 versions, 1, 2, 3. So it's number 3. That's actually is going to be the last one, and hopefully, right, it will work. I'll show you. Now, at this point in time is going over the build sh, and if you tried ArcoLinux B and you've built already, you see lots of colors, and it's just easier to follow along. It's somewhere in the build, right? At this point in time, it's somewhere in the build. It's going to get 1004 and 1004 packages. And where is this thing at this point in time? It's going to do this. So you can figure out in the build sh where it is, but I want to show you the pacman key thing, the pacman init thing, because that is new. So in the build, in here in the A, when it's set to do this guy, so at some point in time we'll see the changes. A lot of these things do not show up, but this guy really lights everything up. Lots of text, and then you know where you are. So here are the keys. The keys are here. That's the keys up there. Local generate keys. Then we're going to create, well, these guys you don't see really. That's happening. That's happening. That's happening. And here we are creating the pacman init service. That's this guy. Choose mirror. That's that guy. Default target. That's that guy. Enable SDDM. That's this guy. And here we start with all the keys. That's really obvious that something has changed, and that's these two lines. The pacman key init. It's gonna be starting here, I think. And then everything gets the ArcoLinux keys come in. Let's populate ArcoLinux. So it's really a chunk of information there. And I guess this line is this line, I'm guessing, and all the rest, well, there's nothing more here. So now it's creating an ISO. We're through this customize Arch ISO root file system. So that's the new bit here. That's the new bit that we'll have from now on. I really hope I have some time, because we're not there yet. Well, there is still something important I would like to do to finish the Carli 6. Let's pause the video here. Alright, always good news if we end up with a ISO Carli 2020 0523 2.2 gigs. Super F7. Load it up, find your file, and double click. Control F, right Control F, and let's boot into it and see if we can get everything installed the way it should be. There are some things like, for instance, now after this one, pacman ring, did you see it? Here, initializes pacman keyring. That's important for us. All right. So, what I've been testing while figuring out what was going wrong, Ctrl-Alt-T, I just started typing sudo pacman, whoa, first azerty, sudo pacman -s Firefox, right? Because I want to install Firefox later on. That works. Well, a few hours back it did not work, and it said pacman is not initialized, or all lines from the database. There is no database, so pacman wanted to help out, but there was no database. So the pacman key init is done, and pacman is initialized, and I can install. Okay, now while it's installing, let's investigate it again. So install system, Calamares is there. Next, Brussels, Belgium. I'm gonna change probably the Calamares installer, because the packages are at the very end, and well, it's a bit strange for me. So next, and then it's for me installed, but here I have to think about, well, I can keep it. But that's the point, right? We want to install Firefox, Chromium, Falcon, and give maybe more choices to the users. So, okay, you want to have this or that. This is all still coming from ArcoLinux. Anything AUR related needs to go on your repos. But anything from ArcoLinux repositories, just a word, type it in, done. And then next, install, and that's off. Now, while that's doing its thing, maybe I could do something else. I can show you, open with Dolphin, the current code is in here, and let's follow along what we've done. Yeah, we'll have to do it in white. That's Kate for you. So welcome, locale, keyboard, partition, users, and then comes the net install browsers, and then a summary. So the net install browsers, we could add it before keyboard or before locale. We can change around the sequence. That's no problem. But what we had to do was packages after network configuration, for sure. And packages had to be in there, so we forgot to put it there in the first place, because net install actually requires the module packages to kick in, to start. And this is an idea, an ID, and we have here net install browsers. So there he's going to look, is there something called net install browsers.conf? And yes, there is. So it goes in here and it finds a file somewhere. Here it is. That's where the file is, etc Calamares modules net install browsers, YAML. And all the rest is rubbish, not necessary. So it's going to go here. They're going to show us these guys. So that was working. The question was, what was not working, is that it did not install. Now the installation is in, let's try that again, is in console. See if I can do it like this. Sudo nano, then root. I hope I can do that. Cache something. No, I'm afraid I can't do that. So I need to go inside the root folder, and in this system I just can't. Right, permission denied. So it's almost installed. Let's do that. No, that's not possible. Install packages. This is alright. So it's removing, it's trying to remove 20 packages, but it can't, because a lot of these things are dependent for our necessary dependencies on Plasma. But 2 of them can. Calamares is out, Calamares configuration is out. This is where it gets stuck, so to speak, because it needs to download Firefox, Chromium and Falcon and then install it. Okay. So the file I wanna go, I can't go here. I will go now after reboot. That's cool too, as long as we know what's going on. But basically, after some looking around, and it's always like that, thinking again how and why and logic behind it, and well, it's like that. Be analytic about it, think about it, and there's nobody to help you out. There's nobody to help me out. Here's Falcon, here's Chromium, and here's Firefox, and we're on the system. F12 not working. Control T. Sudo pacman -s yyU, and we're going to do more things, right? So we want to show off our system with maybe a neofetch. Why not put neofetch on the ISO? Neofetch. Okay, so you just have to type neofetch, and then you can show, hey, look at me, I have my own ArcoLinux system. Maybe you don't like the colors, maybe you like other colors, and so on. Then it starts making the general configurations. That's not, well, it's a lot of fun, but it's not essential. We have an operating system, and Firefox and all that is installed. Yeah, I wanted to go to you and show the thing I can't show you on the live USB. Oh, one level up, var log, Calamares log. So this is what it did. And that was also helpful to figure out what went wrong on my system. Because what I did was Control F Firefox. And I said, why is Firefox not installed? So it's a process it's going through. Every module behind the sequence is going through. And it says here, pacman -s no confirm Firefox. So install it. And here's the response. Finished. Exit code 0 is actually good news. Control find. So the next guy is Chromium. Exit code 0 means it's installed. Falcon 0, it's installed. This here is remove Carli Calamares and remove Calamares. Of course, I don't need Calamares anymore on my system. It needs to get out. So basically, all good. Now, of course, there are always guys that are not as good, and not good is 1. And that's how you need to analyze and read all this code when you are developing. Lots of codes 1. Why? I've installed Plasma. Plasma needs a lot of things. Plasma, removing Plasma framework from Plasma, right? So a lot of things just stay here, but it says try remove. So if you're building a Mate, well, we could actually do that just for fun, just for kicks, right? We can actually do that. And if you do build it, then the things that Mate does not need, Calamares is out, then everything will be deleted. Simple as that. If it's not needed, it's going to be deleted. I was just thinking about the sequence again, because, well, I can't see it here, but in the Calamares, maybe the sequence is important there too. We'll see. A good exercise is, for instance, to build an XFCE or a Mate and see what happens. It's always what if and trial and error, and that's how you fix it. But keep analyzing and never give up. Well, give up for today. Next and tomorrow, then you have a look again and try again. Never give up. All right. I've told you everything that I need to tell you, and we have our system up and running. We can actually add elements to our ISO, Firefox, Falcon. So this is not on our ISO. It's the Calamares that says go and get it from the internet and install it on the SSD of the person, right? And all the rest, this is not from me. This is Plasma. All the rest is Plasma. Lots of things in Plasma. And then you have some fun. Show alternatives, for instance. You go for this guy, switch, and then your menu looks like this. A little bit easier to see what's installed. Don't have to click too much. This guy you have to click some things, but show alternatives again. Or was it right mouse click, configure? Flatten submenus to a single level, which gives us in games a single level. Then immediately you see what games are there. Don't need to click anything open. Same here. And so on. Now, why do we get these things? Shut down. Because of our choices. What Lego blocks do you want to play with? Maybe next time you want to build an ISO with something else. And you can get something else by changing the packages file. Packages, this guy. Do we actually need all these applications? Do we need all of them? KDE applications meta. What's in there? Come on, shut up. What's in there? Do I have? No, I don't. Let's go for Ctrl G. Group, oh, capital letters. ArcoLinux group package. Package groups, okay. So, KDE applications, is that the guy? Let's have a look. KDE applications, applications meta. So, we're close. But take a look what's in here already. It's a bunch of stuff. Now, some of these guys you need, others you don't need. I see Dolphin, right? You do want a file manager, I think so, right? So Dolphin is in here, KDE File Manager. But you can type Dolphin rather than KDE Applications Meta, which is one more name, or does it not exist anymore? I think it still does, because there were some changes in KDE naming conventions. KDE, so from ArcoLinux, not from us. Applications meta, and if it does not recognize it, you know it's not going to work. Well, it's recognized, so it still exists, and there's a small difference between one and the other. It was not that much. You'll find it somewhere on the internet. Anyway, so again, another leap ahead in our Carli development. We can now install packages on our system, on our future system during Calamares. You can select them and everything will be installed. All right.